Greetings, fellow travelers. Welcome aboard the Pfeiffer for another edition of the Guardians of Geekdom podcast. I'm your captain, the DOJ.
Your co-captain Spade here.
And man, it has been a hot minute, Spade.
Yeah. Life stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, around from October to December, shit just gets busy as hell because holidays and stuff with your kids and school and.
Starting to hate school more than when I was in school now.
I'm not even in school and I hate that shit.
Yeah, 20-some years out of school and I hate school.
Well, it's good to have you aboard, sir. A lot has happened in the time that you've been gone.
Well, I thank you for beaming me back up.
Oh, no doubt. Like I said on a previous show, sir, you are for life.
Sweet!
That's right. But we got a lot of stuff to talk about. Spade just went to AEW Dynamite.
Yeah.
And how was it, sir?
Dude, that show was off the chain.
I haven't watched the whole show yet. I've caught clips, but it seemed like a fun show.
It really was a fun show. I actually seen a shout out to my homeboy Dumb Sanders, bumped into him, and a bunch of other fans from New South Pro Wrestling, so I want to throw that plug out there too.
Sweet.
But the show itself was wow. I mean, it's one of the best wrestling shows I've been to in some time where you just had fun and the crowd just had fun. Of course, you know, you've been to wrestling shows just like I have. You have your smart marks and your dumb smart marks. The ones who think they know everything and you don't know shit.
Your dumb smarks.
Yes. It was great, man, seeing Le Champion Chris Jericho in person one more time, and God, man, his reaction when he comes out is just insane.
Oh, I bet.
And
sure, it's a very mixed reaction.
It is, but it was funny because majority of the crowd cheered for him, and then when he went into his heel stick, they booed him.
Right.
So I'm like, yeah, it's not a cheer yet, not a mixed cheer and boo when he's coming out. It's a cheer when he's out. It's a boo when he starts talking.
There you go.
I'm like, yeah, the man knows how to cut a promo. So, of course, he's at that stage of his career like a lot of other people where I just can't really boo him because he, just earned my respect.
I was about to say, I haven't been able to boo Chris Jericho for probably 10 years now, 10 years or more. So, it doesn't really matter what he does. I will say he was definitely the right choice to be champ. That's for sure.
I know at first you were kind of a little on the fence.
I was a little on the fence about it, but now I see it. Now I see that was the right call to make. And to me, the rebuilding of Hangman Page is good. Mm-hmm. So no, I'm happy with everything, the way everything is.
I kind of hope the way that they are building Hangman Page up, where he can be the top face and once again face him for the title and possibly take it off of him.
Yeah.
That would be really, really cool. It would be a great way to complete that circle. So
yeah, right. And that was what I was thinking too. I was like, if you go back to the ground up of having to work your way back up to the title, it would mean a lot more to the fans, and I think the fans would be a lot more invested the second go around. Not that they weren't the first time, but I just don't quite at that. He's not over a level yet.
Oh, man, that was one of the things about the show where, like you just Hangman's catchphrase, cowboy shit. When he wrestled Pac and the crowd started chanting bastard shit.
Bastard shit.
Yeah. I lost my shit.
That's fucking funny.
And I'm looking around and I'm telling my wife and I'm cracking up laughing and like, they are seriously chanting bastard shit.
Bastard
so I joined in the chant too.
That's pretty great, though. Cowboy shit versus bastard shit.
There's a t-shirt waiting to happen.
There you go.
You heard it here first.
I imagine that was killer. Everything I've seen between them two so far has been off the chain.
Oh, man, it was...
Pac is a great wrestler for so many reasons, but, like, he's a high flyer, and he knows when to do that and when to pull it back and when to sell and when to... when to do bastard shit.
Yeah.
And I even saw a tweet from Raven earlier talking about, if you're an up-and-comer, you need to be watching Pac and how he does it. And I was like,
absolutely.
yeah, I totally agree. The man is at first I didn't really understand the whole thing with him not coming and pulling out of the match, but I understand wanting his losses to mean something.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when he did lose to Hangman, it really did mean more.
It did mean something. And the match that they had...
Because Page had to really claw for it. So.
Yeah, and the match that they had this past Wednesday where Hangman just kind of, I don't know, he turned it up another level. They both did. So the match that they had on Dynamite this past Wednesday was reminiscent of the one they had at Full Gear.
Yeah.
And I mean, they had just as much. Neither one of them cats lost intensity. They didn't lose, no momentum or whatever whatsoever going into that match. And they both came out with it like, yo, Pac had to wrestle his ass off as much as Hangman had to, but in order to get that victory, Pac had to go, he had to reach out that like extra mile or extra few inches, be like, I got to pull something out to beat you. And it was brutal. It was physical and what it needed to be.
Yeah.
So it was really, really good. And I really appreciate it. You don't see this on the camera, but there were a few people in the audience that after their match was over, stood up and gave them an ovation.
Yeah.
So they earned that, and they know the people out there knew, hey, this was what we want to see. This is what we are champing at the bit for. It's something we definitely want to see, and I'm sure they're going to get more Pac versus Hangman Page matches in the future.
Yeah. So you don't feel like that was the end of that?
It is for right now, but I can see where they would revisit that somewhere down the line because them two just work well with each other.
I was about to say they do have great matches together.
Another, kind of jumping back and forth in the show, but another one, the way the show started off was Jon Moxley. And man, you sent me the link for the Full Gear, and I finally watched Moxley versus Omega, the unsanctioned lights out death match.
Yeah, that match was fucking nuts.
That match made me glad as far as for the hardcore stuff that we did in our career was nothing compared to that.
No, I never did anything remotely like that.
I mean, we've both been, landed on tacks, been involved with
I've done tacks a lot.
But barbed wire, no. Glass,
I did barbed wire back in the Yardy days with Nubby.
I've only been involved in barbed wire once, and I got a scar on my shoulder because of it. But it wasn't a barbed wire match. I was thrown into something. But, God, man, Moxley comes out, he cuts his promo, and, the crowd goes nuts when he came out. And he cuts his promo, and he basically, he puts Kenny Omega over and says, how much respect he has for him. He's a hell of a competitor. But now it's time to move on. Anybody else who want a piece of Jon Moxley, step up. And I mean, it was just short, sweet, to the point, exact, boom, that was it. He didn't waste no time. He wasn't working by the hour, though, I tell you that much for his match. So it was really great.
He was wrestling Michael Nakazawa, right?
Yeah.
Nakazawa.
He got a knocked out with that paradigm shift.
He should have kept the oil, man. He threw the oil away. That's his whole defense, man.
Oh,
John couldn't have grabbed onto him if he was slick, but oh well. There's another loss for Michael Nakazawa.
Yep.
I'm sure Matt Jackson was happy. Michael Nakazawa.
And then what else was one of the big highlights? MJF.
Yeah. MJF and Jericho's bit was fantastic.
If y'all haven't seen it, man, it's on YouTube.
I was about to say AEW actually put up a kind of a shortened version of it.
Yeah.
You can see it on YouTube, and it is hilarious back and forth with MJF and Jericho.
Oh, man, that was one of the greatest promos.
Juventud Guerrero reference. So it was phenomenal. It popped Tony Schiavone.
Who the
hell is Hoovy?
Hoovy?
Why is it that Hoovie's always that like obscure person to go to in a promo? Because that was the same with The Rock,
But both of those involved Jericho.
Yeah, because he was synonymous for feuding with Juventud.
And he took his mask.
Yeah,
so
he did take his mask.
He took Juventude's man.
He brought upon the never surrender Juventude. And then Rock's whole bit brought upon the juice. The juice is loose. Suck my dick.
I guess the thing.
You forgot all about that shit, didn't you?
I did forget about that.
You forgot about Hoovy running around naked going, suck my dick.
I was going to say, I guess that's the thing. Jericho can't take credit for his naked Hoovy.
Yeah. Can't take credit for the juice is loose.
Oh, boy. Oh, man, that's wild. Naked Hoovy.
Shout out to Hoovy.
We love you, Hoovy.
We still love you, Hoovy.
But yeah.
My mom actually used to have a crush on Hoovy too.
Get out of
town.
town.
Especially after he got unmasked. She's like, oh, he's cute. That's fucking funny to think back on.
Oh, man. That is great.
But yeah.
Oh, man. But yeah, man.
That was a great promo,
though, between the two
of them. And when they both said, at the end, you want to know who the biggest jackass in AEW is? And they both said Cody Rhodes. It was like, oh, that was good, you dicks, like. But even JR on commentary, oh, you're so funny. Yeah. Let me ask you something about that. That was something that I saw on a YouTube video. Somebody kind of commenting on JR being grumpy, and I was like, I just think JR is just kind of grumpy in general, but I think he is doing a great job calling AEW. I think he turns it up at the right moments.
Yeah, I mean, meeting him in person, he definitely ain't one of the most friendliest.
I was about to say, he just doesn't seem like a warm and cuddly kind of guy to me anyway.
He really isn't. But
plus with Bell's palsy, losing his wife, I was like, I can kind of see where JR would be a little stiff.
Yeah, it was like at that point you kind of have a right to be grumpy. So, but his commentary work for AEW, I'm like.
Everything I've seen and heard has been great.
Don't feel like he lost a step.
No, and like I said, there's definitely times where you can tell he puts more emphasis on certain things,
I think he's having a lot more fun now, though, because he's able to call wrestling.
Yeah,
instead of sports.
I read that he was happy to have a routine, something to keep him busy.
Yeah,
he's got a formulaic way that he, does things.
So let's face it, that other company kind of got boring after,
it was a travesty. It was travesty what they were doing with him, just keeping him under contract for basically to be a novelty. And I was very happy when I heard that he got the AEW gig.
I was too, because I'm like, man,
it definitely legitimized their commentary team.
No
Plus,
doubt.
Excalibur is amazing.
Yep.
Like I wasn't super familiar with Excalibur before AEW. I think I had heard some of his stuff on ROH and All In. But that dude knows his shit, like encyclopedia of wrestling.
No doubt. And Tony Schiavone too, man. That was a great callback because he always did great work in WCW and whatever capacity he had.
Very iconic voice.
Yeah.
Very, very reminiscent of WCW.
Absolutely.
But then being on TNT, too, like I told somebody the other day, I said, it fills the void that WCW left behind, but it's so much better.
I know I get a lot of people that say, well, it's just like WCW, and I'm like...
I've heard that, the second coming of WCW,
and
but
I
was like, no, it's completely different.
Yeah. It really is a different film. Like, y'all haven't watched, if you haven't watched wrestling since the Attitude Era or sometime after that.
The only thing I could compare it to that, that is reminiscent other than, Tony Schiavone and TNT and the kind of little throwbacks like that, the only thing that I see that's really the same, it's just kind of that level of excitement when Nitro was at its hottest, I definitely see that in the crowd. The crowd's really invested in everything that's going on and all the different characters. And that's not something that you have with WWE. Everybody that you try to get invested with in WWE, they make you not care.
Yeah,
like the Fiend, like I out of everything they've done in the past year, the Fiend was the one thing that I was like, this is awesome. This has the potential to be really great, and they've already shit on it, so it. Not to say that it couldn't be saved, but it that's a whole other can of worms. But
They definitely
AEW does a phenomenal job of investing you in these people.
They definitely do, and that was one thing I was going to say. They get to where you care about the characters, you care about the wrestlers. You know, whether they're heel, whether they're face, you care about it. It's like, yo, let's see what this team gonna do, or see what this person's gonna do. And a lot of things, like I like how they put emphasis on everything from the world title division picture to the tag team division to the women.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's not one thing that's, I know they may not be able to carry it forever, but at least for right now, it's just like, look, we are making sure we're going to keep emphasis on all aspects of our product. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a good thing, because it's like, we've seen it before where WCW, only thing they really cared about was NWO in the latter part.
Right.
But yet you have great action with cruiserweights, or you would have somebody like Booker T and Chris Benoit for the World Television title.
Right.
And you know, so you see stuff.
See,
like
those were a lot of my more fond memories of
Exactly.
WCW, because there was a point in time where I thought the NWO stuff was cool, but it got very overdone. Mm-hmm. But there was a lot of, secondary to mid-card storylines going on that you were like, wow, this is some good stuff, especially, the television title with Booker T and Benoit, even with Rick Martel, when those three were kind of trading it back and forth. That was a good program, I thought.
And when you can have people that can work and that can tell a good story, and I think that's another thing with AEW, they have people that are able to tell good stories.
Yeah.
And that makes you vested in the product, because, like, if you're looking for just the sports entertainment, fine, keep watching the Stanford Company. But if you are looking for wrestling to tell a story, and for any of y'all young wrestlers who are looking to, you don't know where to go, or you're trying to look to revamp something, look at what they're doing in AEW and watch and study.
Yeah.
And, apply that to your trade. Mm-hmm. Because I'm like, right now, if I wasn't retired, I definitely would have tried to, throw my hat in there and be like, hey, can I get a shot? I don't care if I have the job. Can I get a shot?
Yeah. It's definitely a good time to be a part of the business.
But the show overall, man, when we were there, it was just electric atmosphere. I mean, it just had this big feel to it, even though it wasn't like, a 50,000 seat arena or something.
Right.
But it just had just this big feel to it. It's just like, man, something great is about to go down. And main event of the night was SCU versus Jericho and Sammy Guevara for the, AEW World Tag Team Championship. One of the things, and I wish, I got to get a better phone, but I wish I could have captured this on camera, was Christopher Daniels serenading the crowd, man. That was some of the funniest stuff, and I'm like...
What was he singing?
Oh, man, he's introducing each member of SCU, and he was like, whatever rhymed with Kazarian or Kaz, that's what he said with it, and he was like, Kazarian. He's singing in a melody. Then, talking about, I'm not heterosexual for this, or homosexual for this, so I ain't gay, another word, but he was talking about his sweet booty, all right? And
I gotta edit that.
But CD was talking about his sweet booty and introducing himself, and I'm over here like crying, laughing. I dang near spit out my water on this lady because I laughed so hard. And
then, back when they were the what were they, the Legion of something?
Legion of Broom.
Legion of Broom.
And Bad Influence.
It was, oh, what a tush, was their catchphrase.
And then he introduced Scorpio Sky. And crowd popped big time. Like, Scorpio Sky is really over.
Oh, he's super over. And I was going to talk to you about that, especially with this match. Scorpio Sky, the first person ever technically beat Jericho in AEW.
Yeah.
And it almost made me wonder if they're setting up for a title program with Jericho and Scorp.
I could see that sometimes, especially if Jericho comes out in the next few weeks and be like, you win the tag title with a small package, you beat me with a small package. You're like, that's exactly how he won both matches with a small package. But Scorpio showed why he was the MVP of that tag title tournament as well.
Right.
And man, people are like, well, he did all this stuff and he one with a small package, it's a wrestling move.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's been kind of an underdog finish for a long time too. But something that I thought about too is if you remember when Jericho first won the title and he's going around backstage and he says something to Scorpio Sky about, Scorpio Sky, you'll never get a shot at this. And that's immediately where my mind went. Was like, if they really wanted to be storytellers, they could go back to that and be like, you told me I'd never get a shot at this,
And I believe that they possibly
That's one thing that I can really commend AEW on, and like, if you're not watching Being the Elite, you really should, because they use that show to propel storylines forward. They actually use Being the Elite to set up storylines months before AEW even started. So I could totally see them going that route of, Jericho basically looking at Scorpio Sky like, hey, you're a job guy, and you'll never be on my level, and to Scorpio Sky beating Jericho and being the first one to do it. So I could totally see there being some rooted story arc there.
And like, people can say whatever, but I'm not going to lie, that surprised me when Scorpio pinned Jericho. I was looking at him like, oh, I think it did a lot of people. Everybody expected it to be Sammy Guevara getting pinned if they were going to lose.
It's like at this point you almost think Sammy's there to be the fall guy.
Yeah, and he pins Jericho, and it's just like, wow, you pinned the world champion.
Yeah.
Like, man, that's not a small feat.
Right.
Yeah, it was great, and then, of course, people in the crowd were like, man, he beat him with a small package. I'm like, yeah, what's your point? And I remember one dude when the cameras weren't rolling, when CD was doing the serenading, we want Jericho. I want Jericho. He kept on and on with Jericho. And I'm like, okay, I'm ready to see Jericho too, but I'm enjoying this. So if he says one more, I want Jericho, which he said it, so I politely screamed out, would you shut the fuck up? And everybody else started laughing. So that was a really, really surprising night, really fun, man. The AEW Dark, and I'm like, wow, the dark matches that they have, people were popping like crazy for those too.
Oh yeah, they don't fuck around on AEW Dark. That's one thing that I was very impressed with from day one of AEW Dark. It's a legit secondary show.
Yeah. And I'm just like, wow, man, this is really, really great. If you hadn't watched it, it comes on YouTube, and sometimes, they do stream it live, right, on YouTube. I got a notification on my phone the other night when I was there. I was like, they're streaming this live. This is awesome.
Scorpio Sky actually tweeted out, after scoring the two biggest wins of your career with an inside cradle, you can't really call it a small package, it's a big one. So very well put.
That is great.
Sky. Yeah. What would you say your favorite moment of the night was?
Oh, man.
Put you on the spot.
Yeah, it really did. It's just like, wow, man. It was just, I don't know. I can't answer. Just really just being there as a whole.
Yeah. Just the whole experience.
Just the whole experience, because it's different from Ring of Honor, different from WWE, different from TNA.
Yeah.
It was just different, And I mean,
hey, you can say you've been to see all of them now.
I really have. That is awesome. But it was just like I said, the experience as a whole, and just how excited people were to witness this, and then like this being the fifth show after the TV show, the fifth TV show, and they come around our hometown or state or whatnot, and you're able to go. Man, just the electricity, because people been to WWE shows and they getting excited, but they about know what they're gonna get.
Right.
The only thing I could compare this to would have been Ring of Honor, just not as long as Ring of Honor was.
Yeah, it was something I was thinking about. I was like, imagine that TV format kind of makes it more enjoyable as far as you're not just completely exhausted by the end.
No, you really are not, man. And I guess my favorite moment my most memorable moment, let me put it like that, was the backstage brawl with Santana and Ortiz and the Young Bucks.
Yeah.
And they battle all backstage and battle to the front when they powerbomb poor Matt Jackson through the stage, and that thing sounded off. It was loud on TV. It was even louder in person.
Right.
And you're looking at it, and people are speechless and holding their mouths and like, is he really okay? Like, that wasn't supposed to happen like that, was it? Like, you know, they just, even the smart marks questioned whether or not he was, you know, legitimately hurt.
Yeah.
And golly, man, that was a
shows
bump.
you how good the Young Bucks are to all the haters out there.
That was a bump that, as you and I would always say, like, yeah, y'all young, you will recover. I'm not taking that.
Yeah, well, they're not as young. They're the not as young Bucks.
At least they're not old like the Crack Rock Express.
Oh God, I don't even want to. Yeah, I hate how over they've gotten with all this shit.
Yeah.
Hashtag fuck Ricky Morton. That's how I feel about it. That's how Nigel the British Robot and Gopher feel about it.
That's how I feel about it.
So that's, I guess we could just say that's a company-wide thing.
Pretty much.
Over here at Red Monster.
Cricket and Elmac would hate him too, you know.
Yeah, they were aware of the situations. Well, fuck them. This ain't about the Crack Rock and Roll Express.
Oh man, but the show again was just one of the most fun shows I've ever been to, and I can't wait for them to come back around Nashville or Memphis or Huntsville or Birmingham.
Next time I'm there, sir. Just let me know.
Will do.
But fantastic, man.
So while we're on the subject of wrestling, I gotta ask you, or at least talk about the other company for a little bit.
The Stanford Company.
But what are your thoughts on CM Punk, like coming back more or less, or?
I actually watched it before we started just to make sure that I was up to speed on everything that was said and everything. Initially, my first thought was kind of like he sold out.
Mm-hmm.
And I know a lot of people thought that. I know that was kind of a consensus for a lot of people. To me, selling out is compromising like what you believe in or who you are as a person for money.
Gotcha.
I think that's really the true definition of, or the expression of selling out. Just give it everything he's said. It's kind of like, how could you ever go back to that place? But he's been pretty clear that he works for Fox, and I know everybody kind of eye rolls at that, because it's like, well, it's still WWE. It's like, yeah, it is, but
it is.
You can definitely tell Fox wants a certain kind of product, and WWE's giving them another. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, Fox very much wants something kind of in particular, and you can tell what they're pushing for, and what Vinnie Mac can't say no to. Because Vince is a stubborn motherfucker. Like, he's fought tooth and nail through the whole thing.
Oh, absolutely.
But when it's like Fox has kind of got you by the balls of like, hey, we paid a fucking $1 billion. We're gonna get what we want at the end of the day. You can push and shove all you want, but
you'd be in
we can put you on FS1 and you can die in purgatory. I mean, really and truly, the 1 week that SmackDown was on FS1, it was like lowest ratings ever.
No kid.
And it's just because not everybody gets that fucking channel. You know what I mean? Fox is network,
right.
So I mean, everybody gets Fox, but and then USA, most people have access to that, so it's different being on Fox or USA compared to like a very niche kind of sports channel like that. But anyway, I'm getting off topic. But from what I saw, CM Punk, I mean, he pretty much was like, I'm here to critique the product because I used to do that anyway, so. Basically, like, might as well get paid for it. And I'm like, is that really compromising who he was? Not really, but I don't know. I guess it's yet to be seen. Right now, he's definitely not drinking the Kool-Aid while everybody else is, Like, everybody else has given some very WWE answers, And Punk was just like, no, it's garbage, So I got to respect him for that,
I know, like, a lot of people were excited for him coming back or reappearing, whatever, however they want to put it. My biggest thing was, I tweeted it. He's not wrestling.
Right.
It's
so
like,
who really gives a shit?
Yeah.
You know?
So it's just like he's not.
It's basically like he's gotten another acting gig.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's kind of the same thing. He used to host what was it, Beast Wars?
Yeah.
And he did commentary for UFC.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, obviously those are the kind of gigs that he's looking for right now.
He's even did commentary, in WWE times that he was hurt or they didn't really.
Right, but I'm saying since he's left WWE, he's gotten certain types of gigs. Trying to stay relevant, trying to be active and do things that he wants to do.
Mm-hmm. I know.
So to me, it's just one more gig that. I mean, and I guess, hey, if Fox calls you and says, hey, we're offering you a gang of money to come talk, I mean, it's kind of, I know for me and you, that'd be a no-brainer, even though we hate the product, especially if we were like, if it was told to us, you could say whatever you want within reason about the product.
I'm like, if that's the case, then yes, I'm taking the deal.
Basically, it's like, you can't swear anything like that or anything sacrilegious or crazy, but you can say whatever about the product.
Right.
If you don't like it or whatever, And that's the thing. And he even said it, they're so overproduced and so micromanaged. And that's the thing. Like, it's like that with everything they do, Mm-hmm. But in my opinion, did CM Punk sell out? I can't say that he did. Okay. At least not yet, just from what I saw and heard, I was like, nah, still out there being Phil Brooks to me, so,
I was initially kind of the same way, same mindset about...
It does taint it a little bit, I will say that, though.
Because
if he ever does come back now, you'll kind of be like, meh, you know what I mean?
Right.
It took a lot of the steam out,
right.
So.
Because I ain't gonna lie, my hope was always if he came back to wrestling, he would go to a place like Ring of Honor, maybe even back to Impact. But I'm like, wherever he
Japan.
Yeah, he would be a big enough star that wherever he went to,
that place would boom.
Exactly. So that was my whole thing, and then just seeing him as the backstage interview or whatever, I'm just kind of like, yeah, okay, he's not wrestling, so everybody's all up in arms over in there, which you said earlier, propaganda.
Oh my God, the packages they put together for that particular episode of Backstage of just fans being, it just makes me want to fucking puke. Seriously, that is one thing, and that it really goes back to what I was trying to say earlier about the overproduction. It's just so fucking phony.
Yeah,
and that's what pisses everybody off. At least with AEW. They present something to you, and they're like, we know that you're not stupid.
Mm-hmm.
We know you're not a mark.
Mm-hmm.
So here it is. There's no, hey, like waving keys in front of your face like you're a fucking kid. You know, I'm like, fuck off with that. All right, I'm not a fucking idiot. I get you for kids, but even kids aren't that dumb. So piss off. Yeah.
Oh man.
But I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how it is going forward.
Mm-hmm.
I know he got into some kind of Twitter spat with like Tom Arnold or somebody after, and he swore in it, and then I guess Fox was like meh about it. So like I think it's already like a well, we'll see how long I keep this job. That was one thing. It really genuinely didn't seem like he gave a shit if he lost it or not. So
probably didn't, because he's always like, all right, well. I think he still has his deal with Marvel where he can write books, should he choose to. And
how had the Punk books been? Have you read any?
I've only read one. That was the Drax book, but it was pretty good. And he wrote a Thor book, but I wasn't able to. Either I have it or I wasn't able to read it, but I heard it did really well.
I think it was like the Thor annual.
Yeah, that was it. And but as far as for his writing skills, I'm just like, really, Marvel ought to just get him in a contract and just be like, man, look, it's easy on your body. Can you just write?
Yeah.
And you're a big enough star. Everybody knows who you are, so your fans will tune in or at least buy books because they want to see how you write.
Right.
So I would think that would be a pretty good deal for him, which I would be like, all right, I'm intrigued to it. Would love to see him translate into writing. Yeah, I would buy the books because I'm like, he's a great writer. I think he has a very imaginative mind.
I was about to say, he definitely has the mind
very creative
for storytelling.
Absolutely. So I'm like, there's a lot of creativity there, and even if he didn't do that, where Stanford Company or somewhere, if he wanted to do some creative work in wrestling, somebody would be stupid not to hire him.
Right.
And I know he can get a little bit of his head stuck with his own ass sometimes. Creative.
Yeah, he definitely seems like somebody I wouldn't be friends with.
But as far as for his creativity, I think he has a lot of passion and want to see, things created, things done well, and maybe this deal, like you said, will sweeten it, or maybe not. If he doesn't get it or doesn't want it, it's like, all right, well.
I mean, maybe it's one of those things like, hey, I'm getting my shit from you that you didn't give me all them years ago.
Maybe Fox will give him them
all that time off that I wanted that you didn't give me. Well, now you're paying for it.
Maybe Fox will give him them damn ice cream bars he was asking about.
Maybe.
Them things were good, by the way. I remember having them as a kid.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess the GOG's consensus is Punk hadn't sold out, at least not yet. So
we're just kind of up in the air.
We're just kind of like, meh. Yeah. I would have rather have seen you come back to the ring, and I would have rather it been somewhere like AEW or Ring of Honor,
exactly,
New Japan, or anywhere else. The Ma and Paul's indie show. He did come up at an indie show.
I saw that
in a mask.
I saw the clip of that.
I was like, see, if that was all he ever did, I'd have been okay with that. Yeah.
But it was so funny because he was in the mask, and yet at the same point in time, he still had the street clothes on that people seen him in earlier that day. So it was like, yeah, right. Everybody knows
that's the thing. Like, there were pictures to coincide with that it was like, oh, well, I mean, it was blatantly him, and he had to go to sleep, right. And it looked really rusty. So you're like, yeah, it's got to be CM Punk. He hasn't been in the ring in, how many years?
Oh, man.
Fucking A.
Way to go.
Clobbering time. But yeah, we've just been drifting. We haven't actually set a course. So, Amy?
Yes, Captain.
Set a course for Chimelia 2.
Plotting course for Chimelia 2.
Chimelia 2 is home to these, like, horse people.
Yeah.
So we're going to go see if we can find Hangman Page's dead horse. Maybe see if he's been reincarnated as a horse person.
We're bringing your horse back to you.
Hunter Horse Helmsley. Coming home. See, if he evolves into a horse person, he could be like more legit Hunter Horse Helmsley, and he could talk like this.
He really would be a horseman then.
Yeah.
Bring 3 others, you really have the 4 horsemen. Wow.
So yeah, we're gonna go check this place out, see how it is. I'm sure it's strange.
Probably so.
As every other planet we ever go to.
Or are we the strange ones?
We're the strange ones, I think. I don't know. I know we're very wanted everywhere.
Yeah.
That's why we got the cloaking device on.
Although things have kind of quieted down.
Yeah, it's a little
bit on the front.
A little too quiet.
What do you think that damn mouse been up to?
Well, putting out Disney Plus, I guess. We couldn't stop that from happening. It's too big. It's too large.
What do you think about that?
I don't know. Something that I thought was interesting was they released a statement kind of apologizing about old Disney stuff and their kind of racist portrayal of characters. Basically, it was like a blanket statement of like, hey, sorry for old shit that you might think is offensive. And this is something I imagine me and Mac are going to get into on Red Monster Inc., but something I'll mention is they actually pulled the episode of The Simpsons where Michael Jackson guest starred.
Uh-huh.
The stark raving dad where he plays the mental patient. They pulled that episode from the library, and it's all because of that Finding Neverland documentary that came out where it was all the sexual allegations.
Oh my goodness.
So they
like Disney never did.
they erased that from history.
Jeez. Like Disney never did anything sexual.
Yeah, well, we're just not going to talk about that.
We're going to put...
Nobody needs to know about that, huh?
Too bad, Mickey, because we done seen it all.
Motherfucker. Coming for you. Got a spot on the wall for your fucking head.
Oh, yeah.
That's coming.
we're not going to do like Thor. We're going straight for the head.
Yeah, first try. We learned from his mistakes.
Doggone right. What else, man? We can do some comic book stuff.
Yeah, definitely. One thing. Speaking of comic books, if you're looking for comic books, you need to hit up the homeboy Spade on his eBay at Super Spade 22.
Yeah.
He's got all kinds of stuff. What kind of stuff you got coming up, man? I know you made some sales.
Oh man, I sold both printings of the Batman Who Laughs of whole run 1 through 7.
I figured you would get rid of that just because that's an interesting idea.
I also have for anybody collector wise, I have an autographed Batman Who Laughs #7 from Scott Snyder from when I went to Memphis.
Yeah, need to get your hands on that.
So yeah,
Signed by the man himself.
Yes, sir. So make me an offer, hit me up.
Yeah.
Got some X-Men #1 from 1992, autographed by Chris Claremont as well. X-Men 275, autographed by Chris Claremont. And Savage Wolverine #2, autographed by Frank Cho, the artist. Frank Cho likes the ladies.
Yeah.
A lot.
Isn't Frank Cho the one that did that cover that got banned because of the pose? Yeah.
It's like, I want that cover. For 2 reasons. It's
Frank
banned,
Cho loves the booty as well.
Yes, he does.
But yeah, very cool stuff. So
He
you
likes
need
the
to,
booty and the boobies.
yeah, true that.
If you've seen any of his artwork. But yeah, man.
That's another thing. Sometimes you will have special XXX rated covers of things if you're into that kind of thing too.
Savage Dragon.
I actually saw the Savage Dragon cover and was like, holy shit. This is porn. This isn't like a topless chick or something like that. No. No, this is more than that.
Yeah, way more.
That was something I was like, I want to see what this one looks like. So I looked it up and was like, wow. Wow. Definitely see why this one comes with the paper cover over the front.
Yeah, it's not for people under 18.
Yeah. You should look it up, people.
You should buy it from
You should buy it from the homie Spade over at Spadeonomics Comics.
I do have another copy, so it's going up soon, so yeah.
There you go. Be on the lookout for that. You can also follow him at Spadeonomics on Twitter.
Spadeonomics Comics on Instagram.
There you go. Completely revamped his Instagram.
Yes, sir.
Got some new cool stuff on there, too, so you need to check that out. Also, if you are a fan of the Guardians of Geekdom podcast or the Red Monster Inc. podcast or any of the other dumb shit we do, please subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 100, and we're just a quarter away.
Subscribe. View.
Yeah.
Share. And thumbs up.
And you should donate to our Patreon. Patreon.com/Red Monster Inc.
Remember, your contributions will help us put out more content for you.
There you go. Helps us get better equipment and get more cool stuff.
So when we get more cool stuff, you get more cool stuff.
Exactly. It's a never-ending circle of cool stuff.
We're trying to get, branch out T-shirts and stuff.
We do. We would like to start getting some merch and stuff
Red
out
Monster
there.
Inc. underwear and socks, man.
Yeah. Panties for your ladies.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Hit us up on the Patreons. Spade, you went to see the Joker movie recently.
Yes, sir, I did.
Without giving spoilers, I know you like to give spoilers. But
I crush hopes and dreams.
I crush your hopes and dreams. But what did you think of it, man?
Man, I thought it was a great movie. It was definitely a different and great take on Joker. The story that they told leading up to him, just when he actually goes full-blown Joker,
Yeah.
man, it made it great. It's like, it's not a so slow build, but it's a good pace to get there.
Right.
You know, you're not sitting there looking at like, oh man, this is taking long as hell, I want to see Joker. It's like, no, you are basically invested in his character
From the
before he
get-go.
becomes Joker.
Yeah.
You're looking for it. They do tease it, I ain't gonna lie. You're looking for it, and then when it finally happens, it's like it's just a big payoff.
Yeah.
And it was, my wife and I went to go see it, and I remember wrestling calling the spot, and I asked her a question about a certain thing, and she was like, no, it's not going to happen. And I said, I think it is, and then it happened. How'd you know that was going to happen? I'm like, if you read Joker, like anything in Batman or anything Joker-centric, no matter who he's facing, if you read Joker, you kind of know his modus operandi. And you know he does things for sometimes shock value, sometimes just because.
Right.
But it was, just a really, really good backstory. And it almost, I ain't gonna say almost. It does in a way kind of make you feel for him, feel sorry for him.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just like, wow, man, you know, you also kind of look at our society as a whole right now, and you think, man, what a bunch of dicks.
Right.
You know?
Would you say it's very relevant to modern times?
Yes. Yes, I would. Very much so.
That was something I got the vibe of, for sure.
Because you know how, if say somebody's not mentally right, or they suffer from like autism or something, or, you know, whatever, people tend to look down on that type of stuff.
Right.
And it was like, this is kind of a spoiler, but kind of not, but they portrayed that in the movie.
Right.
So it does make it relevant to us in, you know, modern times and in real life. It's just like, man, don't look down on your fellow man unless you're helping them up.
Right. Would you say Joaquin Phoenix was a good Joker?
Yeah.
His portrayal? Because I imagine it is very nuanced as far as the way it's kind of done, but I imagine in that light, he probably did a really great job.
You get a lot of nods to past Joker actors.
I got you.
You know, from Cesar Romero to Nicholson to Heath Ledger and even
Right.
Jared Leto. You know, you get a lot of nods to that, and I mean, it's just great how they just put like, okay, we're gonna reference this Joker here, you know, this person's Joker
Right.
here.
So they took kind of pieces.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which, I mean, really and truly is a homage to the character. It's always been that multiple choice of backstory and different things like that. So I'm very intrigued to see it. And you're the first person I've actually talked to that has seen it and said that it was awesome. So
It was, man, and for all the people that's kind of saying that, oh man, this movie is too violent, no, it really
that was
is
something
not.
I remember you saying was that it was not as violent as you expected it to be based off of what people were saying.
No, not like what people were saying. That violent, yeah, definitely, but not like overly violent like people were trying to make it out to be.
Right.
You know, so it earned its R rating, definitely,
Right.
but it is worth seeing. You know.
I mean, it's one of the highest grossing, R-rated films.
Mm-hmm. And
Very much proof that WB needs to just stand back and let people make money for them,
And it was great, again, great story for being a standalone movie.
Right.
And, a lot of people weren't sure how a villain-centric movie would go, but I'm like, this one, they actually did great. It's just, wow, it's Joker's story.
Yeah.
And anybody, if Joker is your favorite villain, you will love this. It is his story. Not, Batman, not Bruce's, Joker's story.
Right. Well, speaking of a villain-centric movie, I don't really know how they're intended on playing this, but Black Adam has officially got a release in 2021.
I saw that on The Rock's Instagram the other day. I was like, yeah, that's pretty cool.
Something that has been talked about for,
Years
now. Finally going to happen. I don't know if they're trying to portray Black Adam as a hero or a villain. And the way that Rock worded it, it almost seemed like they were playing more towards a hero.
Yeah.
But I really don't know. We've talked in great length about how I feel about all that. What do you think, though? What do you think the motive here is?
Part of me kind of thinks more that they are going to portray him as a hero starting out, and somewhere
along the lines.
Yeah, maybe toward the end of the film, he becomes evil. Something happened to him, and he becomes evil.
Do you think they will go with the traditional origin, or do you think they're going for something else?
Probably something. I'm leaning more towards the something else. I would kind of hope they do keep the traditional origin.
That's me too. That's the thing. I'm kind of hoping they're not just like handcrafting this to be exactly what The Rock wants. You know, like no offense to The Rock, but I'm like, you can't just alter the character to be what you want it to be. But I did think it was interesting. And I know Boss Logic had put up some art that him and Jim Lee had done, and one of them was Black Adam versus Superman. And something that El Mac had actually asked on the Past Art My podcast was there any talks of anything Superman related? And I haven't heard anything.
A rumor, and I think it's more of a fan rumor, was that Matt Bomer, I think that's how you pronounce his name, is rumored to play Superman or take over if Henry Cavill doesn't reprise the role. I know he voiced Superman in Superman Unbound.
I'm familiar with him. He kind of looks like Cowboy, honestly. I don't think that would be a terrible choice, but I'm still not ready to let go of Cavill.
Yeah, I think they got way more mileage to get out of Henry Cavill. And, you know, if WB execs, again, we harp on it, but if they get their head out of their own asses to see this, it's like, dude, a lot of people have been saying that this is their Superman. Like, you know, past generation, Christopher Reeve was their Superman. And this is this generation's Superman. You can't hardly, you know, mention Henry Cavill without it.
Yeah.
You know, nobody remembers that. Mission Impossible. And the only other thing I think that he's being known for now is Witcher on Netflix.
Yeah, I know a lot of people were really stoked about The Witcher. So, I will say that he looks identical to the damn character he's playing.
Yeah. But yeah, man, but hearing about, you know, Bomer being Superman considered taking over, I'm like, if they don't bring back Henry, then I would be at ease if he gets it, you know, which going into the crisis now, I know a lot of people are excited, which I'm excited about, Brandon Routh reprising his Superman type role.
Yeah, I've got to see a lot of stuff of him in the costume, and it looks good.
So I think that if the movie verse, if you're
not getting what you want there, you can get that out of the
out of the TV,
out of the CW verse,
exactly,
out of the Arrowverse. Which Arrow's wrapping up now, isn't it?
I think they have actually finished filming.
That's pretty crazy, man.
And Stephen Amell tweeted and even posted on Instagram about it, and you know, it's like bittersweet. And I'm sitting there looking, I'm like, I am still not ready for this show to end.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, I know you, just like we did in wrestling, man, you want to go out at your highest peak. You don't want to be the one dragging around and people saying, why you go so long, blah, blah, you know? So I get his sentiment, you know, like, hey, we want to go out hot.
Yeah. Well, respect for that.
Yeah. I'm thinking this is going to be one of the...
Oh, it's got to be probably one of the biggest crossovers ever, you know.
We talk about it often, man, you know, with the crossover that they've had on this show. It's like, how are they going to top this?
You're right.
And I'm like thinking about a year from now, how are they going to top this?
Right. I don't know how you top this one.
We even asked last year, how you going to top that one?
Right. They always seem to find a way, though, so it'll be real interesting to see how it goes next year.
Yeah.
Kind of going back to Superman, you had mentioned earlier about the Superman's dual identity kind of being a thing of the past. And we've mentioned this on some previous podcasts, too, about his identity being revealed and yada yada, and how we were meh about it. But
now I'm just flat out pissed about it.
now Spade's angry about it.
Yeah, angry black dude, man. Seriously, it's like coming out. I'm going with the other universe. I'm not going to turn big and green. I'm probably going to be big and purple or blue or something. But I'm mad as hell right now.
You'll be purple. Because you're a bad motherfucker. Bad motherfuckers sport purple.
It's a nigga in the purple skin. But Brian Michael Bendis, man, has decided to take Clark out of Superman or away from Superman, or just reveal his identity to the world. And I'm like, okay.
I've heard a lot of people say they don't like Bendis writing Superman. He writes Superman with way too much dialogue. Yeah.
And I'm like, Superman's not a chatterbox. He talks, but he's not a chatterbox. Right. And it's just like, it's so, don't get me wrong, some of the comics are great, and I haven't dropped it yet. So he's doing something right. Not a lot, but something. But just all this dialogue and talking, and then it's like, oh, well, now let's just take him out of suit. It's like reminiscent of when they wanted to kill. Let's just kill him when they wanted to kill Superman back in the 90s.
Yeah.
And I'm
like an exhausted, like we've done everything else kind of thing.
And now it's like I've been reading and studying up on it, which DC is like, oh, okay, well, that's a cool idea. And no, we're not going to reverse this.
Yeah, whatever. I didn't think he'd ever get put back in the underwear again, but that happened.
That happened.
So we'll see. We'll see.
So I'm just like, oh man, this
when books stop selling. Well, shit.
We're going to have to make him and Clark again.
Yeah. We're going to have to somehow figure out how to erase the memory of the entire world.
He's going to spin the world back on
There we
his
go.
axis.
We're just going to go back old school. Just going to turn it back around.
But yeah, man, that one I read about it, and just in frustration, I'm just like, y'all are really starting to get like the Stanford Company right now.
Oh, then that's how I felt about comics for a really long time. That's why it's hard for me to get into any kind of titles now.
And I'm gonna segue right here to this. Keep on with what you're talking about. Then I'm gonna segue right back, but. That's why I've been starting to read like Dynamite and IDW a lot more, because IDW deals with things we grew up on: Ghostbusters, Ninja Turtles, G.I. Joe, Transformers, and they all have been great.
Right.
I mean, some great writing, great storytelling,
continuity.
Yeah, and with Dynamite, I mean, I'm reading Red Sonja, Betty Page.
How are the Betty Page comics?
They are hilarious. And Elvira.
I was about to say, what kind of story arcs do they kind of get into with that?
Betty Page is pretty much, Betty Page Unbound, let me say that, is pretty much where she's almost in essence quantum leaping into different roles. Like the first one starts off, she's Red Sonja.
Oh.
And then the second issue, she's Vampirella.
Oh, wow.
And then, like, I got the 5th issue I read, she's more like Catwoman.
Okay.
So I'm like, this is really, really cool. One of the
that's interesting.
One of the covers
I've always
that
been a
I
Betty
have,
Page fan.
Oh man, it's like the trade is out. So if you ever get to where you can pick it up. Okay. It's definitely worth it.
That's interesting.
One of the covers I have is a homage to the Crisis on Infinite Earths #1.
Oh yeah.
So I put up, which we'll show it in a minute, but I put up on my IG a split screen between the two.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh man, this is really, really cool. It's like, you got the Crisis, you got Betty Page Unbound and Crisis, and all Betty Page images. Like, man, it's funny as all get out.
Yeah.
But it's, she's been great, man. She's been really, really good. Vampirella, they re-released her in a new volume. She's been really, really good. Red Sonja, Vampirella, crossover has been great. Then they do Red Sonja, Vampirella meets Betty and Veronica.
Oh, wow.
So that one's been really, really cool. And I'm like, I want to check it out.
So to say, it seems like almost some kind of throwbacks.
Yeah. But it's those.
But hey, that really with comics, that's what a lot of people are doing now, is reading older books and older stories because they know they're consistent.
Yeah.
which I think is kind of crazy that it's more of like a resurgence of the back issue now than people really buying new comics.
But when you have something as classic as an Archie series, man, where, you can take two characters that have been around since, well, four characters in general, with all four of them, been around since the 50s and 60s.
Right.
And put them in a story arc to where it's like, hey, there are murders going on in Riverdale, but they're supernatural types. So we're trying to figure out why.
Yeah.
And
I know that's kind of more of the turn they've taken, especially with the TV show and stuff too, with it kind of becoming a murder mystery type thing.
And it's funny, man, because they have to enter into Betty and Veronica's high school, so you can imagine a dang near 6 foot tall redhead with a sword going to high school classes.
Right. I'm sure that makes for all kinds of hijinks and shenanigans.
But it's been really fun. But yeah, going back to the DC thing with Superman is just like, for what, almost 2 years in the New 52, people complained about Superman so much that they took the essence away from him.
Yeah.
Now with Rebirth, you bring the essence of Superman back. Now you want him to kill it because you
take it back again.
Yeah. Now you see, you've seen it in the animated series where his identity was almost blown, and his father's like, he just can't be Clark anymore.
Yeah.
And he's like, I need to be Clark. I can't be Superman all the time.
I need that dual identity.
So it's like, now, why would you take that from him? He's married, he has a child. Why are you going to take this from him? He's not going to ever get any rest, because every time he's walking down the road, he's Superman.
Right. Come help me with my problem, Superman.
Yeah.
God damn it. I got stuff to do.
But can't you just use your super speed?
You use your fucking super speed. Oh, wait, you don't have any. Dick.
Oh, man, but that is not something that I'm a fan of, and I'm just like, I've been tweeting to DC, y'all need to retcon this as quickly as possible.
Yeah, and that's the thing. DC just can't get their shit together, man. They need to get it together. It's baffling to me because they have some of the best artists and the best writers under their roster, but they can't find a groove, man.
Oh man, it's just
it's like hit and miss.
Yeah,
that's what the comic game is now. Every now and then you get that story arc that everybody's really into.
Yeah,
but the rest of the time you're just trying to figure out what the hell is going on. Wait, what are we doing now? But yeah, that's why I just don't collect anymore. I read trades when I do read.
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting to that point where I'm having to drop some titles because I'm just like, man, these just, they don't
not
keep
going
my
anywhere.
attention. Yeah,
right.
not going anywhere. It's like I'm spinning my wheels. Harley has been one. I just kind of lost.
I was about to say, I could see where Harley just kind of got weird.
Yeah, it did, and
I've said for a while, I feel like they're trying to make Harley DC's Deadpool.
And they don't need to.
No, I agree.
That's
very much the vibe I get with the new Birds of Prey movie. I'm not a fan.
I was going to ask you your thoughts on that so
far. I don't think it's going to be good, I'll be honest. I would love to eat my words on it. I would love to watch it and be like, oh man, so good. But just the vibe that I'm getting, it seems very hokey at places, and it still seems set in that DCEU, that part of it that failed, that I'm like, why are we still going back to this well, I don't know. I'll have to see it to really be able to say. I know it's kind of an untraditional roster of the Birds of Prey.
We saw the trailer for it when we went to see Joker, and I kind of slumped down in my seat and just let out this exasperated sigh. My wife was like, what? And I look at it and just...
I mean, it looks like Suicide Squad 2 or something, like not the James Gunn version, but just like they continued on with Suicide Squad.
Exactly. And that was my first thought about it. Like, it looks exactly like Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Not, like you said, not the new one they're doing. And my thing, I thought about it, why, if they were going to do it the way when I see the trailer, if they were going to do it like this, why didn't they just do a Harley movie?
Yeah, just a Harley movie.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, to me, that's what it seems like any fucking way. why try to introduce these new characters when apparently they're just going to be overshadowed?
Right.
You know?
Because, I mean, if you're going to do Birds of Prey, do Birds of Prey.
Right. You need to be doing Canary and Huntress. And,
Yeah.
You know, but
And if it's going to be Harley and a form of Ivy, which, you know, I know they greenlit a Gotham Sirens movie, Gotham City Sirens.
Yeah.
Before, so you could have just saved it for that. You know, you if you needed more Harley.
Well, see, that's the thing. In a way, I thought that maybe this was supposed to be. I haven't heard anything else about Gotham City Sirens, so I figured this is just kind of what that turned into.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I imagine it'll depend with this movie on if they do anything further. But can't say that I have faith in it so far. They're gonna have to really go out of their way to impress me. Not that I don't like Margot Robbie either. I mean, she's great, but
It's the
again,
writing.
if you can have the best actors in the world, but the writing sucks. It's garbage. Hot garbage.
Oh man. Well, going with the Enemy, since we hadn't talked, you know, much about it. The stuff on Disney Plus. One guy asked me this week, "Am I going to subscribe to it?" And I told him, I'm kind of at war with Disney right now. So he looks at me like, "What the hell?" I told him
You
that
should have just been like, well, you know, you need to subscribe to Red Monster Inc. if you need to know about that.
I'll bump it to him on Monday, so I'll tell him.
There you go.
But I told him, I said, I'm kind of like, is some stuff I want to check out, and some stuff I don't, you know, and I'm not sure.
I definitely see the appeal.
Mm-hmm.
You know, all war aside, motherfucker.
But like I told the guy I know, my coworker, whatnot, said that, well, I have, you know, the MCU movies on DVD, so I can watch them anytime I get ready
Right.
to. I know they're putting those on there. But for the stuff that I used to watch, like Iron Fist and Luke Cage and Defenders, if they were to pick those up, I probably would be more intrigued
Right.
to check it out. But it's like everything.
Well, I mean, what about the Marvel series that they have announced? Are you intrigued by any of those?
I am, man. Loki and WandaVision, I'm definitely intrigued by those two. And I would like to check them out and see,
Yeah.
you know, just to see, you know, how they are, how they turned out, and
How they play in
Right.
to the Marvel universe.
Mm-hmm.
We talked a little bit about it on Red Monster Inc. about the She-Hulk show is being wrote by the same lady that wrote the Pickle Rick episode of Rick and Morty. So I'm kind of intrigued now. But yeah, I can definitely see the appeal, you know, and me being the Star Wars nerd, I am kind of intrigued by the Mandalorian.
Mm-hmm.
It's a series about Boba Fett's peeps, the bounty hunter.
You know, I've seen that, and I'm not a big Star Wars nerd like you are, but I'm intrigued by that myself. And
It looks cool.
It does. It
They've
really
done a
does.
well enough job with hyping the trailer to make it be like, even if you're not a Star Wars fan, you might like this.
Yeah.
And Jon Favreau is the director or writer on it.
Is he
so
really?
I was intrigued too by that. So
That might be pretty good.
yeah. So I have to check it out, see. But I don't know. It'd be one of those things I'd probably watch on DVD or something. I don't know. And that's the thing. I don't know if stuff like that will ever be on DVD or if it's strictly through streaming. You know.
It's hard because most of most Disney stuff or Disney's Marvel stuff, they very rarely put on DVD.
Yeah.
And like, you know, Agent Carter, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., past the second season I haven't seen on DVD anywhere. And just like, you know, I would love to see this and catch up with it.
Yeah.
But it
well,
came-
I fell off. I know the Machiavelli said it got kind of strange in the
Yeah.
later seasons. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how Disney Plus is going to work. The damn mouse and his greedy shit. They probably won't put it out on DVD.
Probably.
You gotta buy Disney Plus, huh?
And you know, I think I got a conspiracy theory. I think that's his brainwashing, his way to brainwash
It
the
is.
world.
I mean, you really shouldn't get it, people. He's trying to control you. Mm-hmm. This is all a distraction from him trying to buy up the rest of the film industry.
We're the ones trying to save you.
Yeah, we're trying to help you here. But yeah, I don't know. I'm on the fence about the Disney Plus. We tried to blow it to hell. Didn't work.
We failed.
We failed. Well, we're still trying. It's
There
an
you go.
ongoing effort.
Exactly.
Think about Star Wars. That shit lasted for
Ever.
fucking ever. Too long. We won't get that way. We'll end it at the right time. But
There it is.
there it is. Whoop, there it is. Make them say,
Oh, man. That was great.
Yeah. Well, I think that's probably going to do it for another edition of the Guardians of Geekdom podcast. What do you think, Ed?
Yeah, I think that's a good note to go out on.
There we go. Well, shit. I guess we're going to go chat it up with some of these horse people real quick.
Yeah, boy.
Get some drinks and some other cool stuff.
It's a good thing Gopher ain't here.
Oh, man. Y'all will see that soon enough. Go for his first space adventure. He's had to get Amy to work up one of her hangover tonics for him.
Ooh, boy.
Those will fix you up.
She had to beam him back home.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah, well. Fun times out here in space.
Gopher can't handle his space whiskey.
If it's from Asgard, Gopher can't have none. He was down and determined. He was like, he's gonna show what a little badass he was.
Oh, man.
Eating whiskey is a hell of a drink.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Okay. But anyways, we're gonna get out of here, guys. But thank you for listening.
Initiating GOG Awesome Mix Volume 1 Track 10.
And we will catch y'all next time.
Peace.
Good to have you back, bro. For real.
It's good to be back, man.
Yo, I never got to show you this, but while you were on Apollo Electric, me and Amy worked something up for you.
Oh, yeah? What you got?
Check this out.
Ah, dude. I like it.
I figured me and you never had matching tag team gear back in the day, so I figured we could match going into battle together.
Sweet. I dig it. I'm ready.
Listen, man, after what happened to me on Cloud City and after what happened to you on Apollo Electric, we can't go off doing cowboy shit anymore. We gotta be on the same page at all times. No more secrets.
I totally agree.
Amy, can you come in here for a minute?
Of course, Captain. While I was on Cloud City, I was able to hack into a pair of droids. They were able to gain access to the Disney Death Star and overload its reactor core, causing it to be destroyed.
Well, that's good, isn't it? I mean, Mickey and the assassin got, right?
Both Lord Disney and the assassin are unaccounted for.
We have to assume that they survived and that they've set up shop somewhere else while they make repairs. Now that Disney Plus is up and running, they're going to be planning a counterattack.
Damn.
I was able to destroy their droid-making facility. Unfortunately, there were over 1,000 human casualties.
Look, man, I didn't like this part of the plan, but this was the only way. It was the only way we remotely stood a chance.
Well, this is war, and we knew something like this could possibly happen.
Look, man, Amy can brief you on everything that happened. She can give you all the details. I gotta go meet up with Cricket.
DOJ,
What's up, man?
We got this. We all right. Again, we knew something like this could happen. But man, we got to survive. And we got to put a stop to this.
Thanks for having my back, bro.
Always.